Yuan! Huh, what is going on?
Wake up, mate! The war has begun! Quick, man the cannons and give them hell!
War? Oh god, okay, just give me a second. Just gotta change into my uniform and... Wait, what? Oh, hey, Charles. Wait, why aren't you guys manning the cannons?
The cannons? What are you... Ooh, you mean the war? Already finished it, matey. It's over. Hey, you joining this round or what? This bloke is about to wager his soul.
Ah, bollocks. A deal's a deal, sir. Can I go to bed again? Historically Facts, Part 5. Welcome to the late 19th century, and welcome to Great Britain, the land of the Industrial Revolution, the land of economic opportunities, and the land of overcrowded cities. With many, many rats. You know what else Britain has many of? Colonies. How many? Very many. Approximately 22% of all of Earth's land area.
It's the biggest empire that the world has ever seen. And within that humongous empire is a small island called Zanzibar.
Just off the coast of Tanzania, Zanzibar was the trade center of the Indian Ocean, connecting African, Indian, and Asian traders all in one spot. This made the island crucial for the British colonists.
But that wasn't the sole reason the British wanted the island. There was also slavery.
No. The British didn't want to establish it, they wanted to abolish it. Around the year 1800, the British had a change of heart.
They decided that maybe tearing families apart and shipping them across the world to work till they die wasn't that humanitarian. So, they passed a law that made it illegal to have slaves in the Great British Empire.
Turns out, just because the British quit slavery, doesn't mean the local sultan and many traders settled in Zanzibar did. And that was a problem. Now, the easy way to deal with this is to force every trader to give up their income.
But that has a slight side effect of rebelling. And we wouldn't want a war, would we? So it went more like this.
Hey, Germany, if you take this part of East Africa, I'll take this, and also this. 9, and this. If you refuse, I will use my superior naval force to make your life a living hell. Deal.
Oh, hello, Sultan Hamad bin Thuwaini. I own this island now. Any objections? You sure? Okay, nice. To avoid unnecessary warfare, they kept the Sultan in place to create the illusion that the Zanzibaris were still governed locally.
Though in reality, he was more like a puppet, and he's dead. How did he die? Suddenly.
Aka poisoned by his cousin Khalid bin Barghash. Gosh, poisoned by a relative? We have never seen that before. All right, so, the Sultan is dead, which means the British lost their puppet. Time to get a new Sultan elected.
The British had to pick a new sultan, and they heavily favored a pro-British candidate named Hamud bin Muhammad. Khalid bin Barghash really didn't like that. He considered himself the successor and wasn't about to let his sultanship be taken away.
So, he stormed the palace with over 3,000 men and women and locked themselves inside. The British initially tried to sweet-talk Khalid into leaving the palace, but Khalid flat out ignored them.
General, the colonies are revolting. This is a crisis. Calm down. Report the situation immediately. This was extremely problematic for the colonizer, so they turned to Admiral Rawson. We need Rawson. Mobilize him now.
Ooh. Yes, this bloke is not getting out. You think you could convince him? Yeah, no worries, mate. I got you. The following morning, 8 a.m., Admiral Rawson shows up with 5 ships. Oi, mate. My name is Harry. We give you one final hour to leave, or we'll do it the good old way, all right?
Whereas Khalid responded, "We have no intention of leaving, and we do not believe you would open fire on us." Oh, I'm not sure if you should call our claims a bluff, mate. One final hour, don't be a hero. You know what else you shouldn't call a bluff on? The YouTube algorithm destroying my channel if you don't hit subscribe. Back to the self-destruction. So back to his ships Harry went. But as the time grew closer to 9 a.m., there were no signs of surrendering. Instead, the British noticed the Zanzibaris rebels man the O1 shore battery they had. and a Zanzibari warship began to position itself within the formation of the 5 ships. Very questionable behavior.
9 a.m. The ultimatum expires. Dead silence.
Khalid thinks he called their bluff. Nothing happens.
9:02 a.m. Oh hey, would you look at the time? It's time for war. The 3 gunboats, Raccoon, Thrush, and Sparrow, simultaneously opened fire at the palace.
Where Thrush's first shot immediately destroyed the only manned shore battery.
The high explosive shells obliterated the barricades and caused massive fires throughout the palace, trapping thousands of supporters in the toxic smoke. It was an absolute slaughterhouse.
At 9:05 a.m., the single warship of the Zanzibaris started to lay fire onto the big cruiser that Admiral Rawson was on.
However, due to the very outdated weaponry, they didn't even manage to create a dent in the ship's hull.
In response, the St. George laid fire back and sunk the ship in approximately 4 shots. Good try, little buddy.
For some reason, a couple minutes later, 2 small steam launchers came to try to take down Thrush, but they did it with rifles? What?
Needless to say, they were disposed of really quickly as well. And that was all the naval defenses the Zanzibari had.
What followed was 30 minutes of over 500 high-explosive shells continuously fired upon the palace,
Till one Zanzibari climbed up the roof to take down the rebellers' flag. And then, Essex, the Rawson. The war ended. Bane Ka.
Yep, the entire war, the shortest war in history, ended in just 38 minutes, with over 500 casualties on the Zanzibari side.
And only 1 sailor hurt on the British side, presumably by dropping a shell on his foot. Ouch! But what happened to Khalid? Well, he ran off. 5 minutes into the shelling he just left with his rich buddies, and sought refuge at the German embassy, leaving his thousands of supporters to die in the palace. Brother, not very cool. After the war, Khalid fled to the German side of Africa, where he continued to live an easy life, till he got captured by the Allies, who were liberating in World War I, and sent to exile.
Where Khalid wrote and sent dozens of personal letters to Churchill begging to be sent home, whereas the cigar man responded by sending him to Kenya, where he died. Epic troll.
Anyway, 20 minutes after the war ended, Hamud bin Muhammad ascended to become Sultan, and slavery was completely abolished in Zanzibar.
This is the bizarre 38 minutes war that caused way too many deaths.
And if you don't want to end up like Khalid's abandoned soldiers, you better hit subscribe right now. See ya!